Breaking news! Nintendo unleashes on the world the Wii News Channel. Will it be like the forecast channel where everything is several hours out of date? Well, the first thing that comes up is a virtual cat with a sarcastic sense of humor. But thankfully, it's uphill from here. This is actually the best post-launch channel release to date, which is not saying much. The interface is refreshingly clean and efficient. The slideshow gives a geographic pictorial of where today's top headlines took place. It is actually quite stunning that this adds functionality through simplicity. But this should not be surprising considering that graphical user interfaces have done the same for computers for the past 20 plus years. Now let's see if we can find a story that's not too depressing to use as a demonstrator. This is hardly what I'm looking for. Let's see what the next story is like. Okay, we'll use this story. To access the contents of the story that comes up in the slideshow, simply push the A button. Now, this is the default text resolution, but you can zoom out if you like. Now, if you strain your eyes by reading the text at this resolution too long, you can zoom the text in a great deal. You can also perform the zoom function by simply pushing the plus or minus button on the Wiimote. Clicking on the body of the story brings you back to the slideshow. Seems pretty simple and intuitive. However, the one frustrating thing about the interface is in order to leave the slideshow itself, you must enter one of the stories and push the end button on the bottom left of the screen. Now, stories can be picked individually by category. Now, since this is a technological release, let's see where it comes up in the technology category, shall we? Wow, that's surprising. The PlayStation 3 comes up second in the Nintendo Wii News Channel. What's even more surprising is how expensive the PS3 is in Europe. In the United Kingdom, it's the equivalent of $850 US. Interestingly, look how far down the Nintendo Wii News Channel's press release is. And the fact that the news channel debuted a day early is a great sign. Unlike the PlayStation 3, where everything seems to be arriving extremely late. But that's enough PlayStation 3 bashing for one review. Now let's look at some of the other news categories. Here you can check the latest sports scores. Of course, this time of the year it's pretty much dominated by the NBA. Let's take a look and see what's in the entertainment section. Great, Citizen Clinton is getting Hollywood stars to back her campaign. Are we at all surprised? Any news on Scorsese's Oscar nomination? Nope, but it looks like Nintendo's looking for any excuse to stop producing violent video games. I think I've had it with the entertainment section for this review. Let's finish off this review by looking at some of the hard news categories. Let's first look at the international news category. And finally, the national category. Pretty much all these hard news stories will end up in the news slideshow. But enough news, and on to something more automotive in nature. Final Gear is America's first British motoring car show. Final Gear tells you which cars are like rolling Viagra and which cars to avoid like an Uwe Boll movie. Final Gear reviews all the exciting gas guzzlers that Citizen Clinton wants removed off the roads, and is presented by two of the biggest petrol heads this side of the Atlantic. So contact your favorite network and tell them you want Final Gear in your primetime lineup.